Hello to everybody, it's Michael. It has been a while, but I am back with a new upload. I'd love to welcome any new subscribers and extend my thanks to everybody for watching. I hope you're all liking my videos and enjoying the views from the trail, and I'm certainly glad to have you all along for the hike. Now this hike is actually all off-trail and takes place above the small mountain town of Silvergate, Montana, just a few short miles outside of the northeast entrance to Yellowstone National Park. You'll be joining me as I hike up an unnamed creek drainage to an unnamed waterfall where, along the way, I will spot an old, unnamed mining entrance to an old mining site. I say unnamed to all of this because both the creek and the waterfall are seasonal and only present during the months of heavy snow and ice melt. As for the mining entrance, well, it didn't exist on any online database that I searched, so to me, it remains unnamed. Now, I was able to gain access to this hike from a rental cabin that I reserved during this portion of my trip. The property owner mentioned to me that there was a nice waterfall a few miles behind his cabin, and hearing this news was exciting to me because I am a sucker for a good waterfall, and I certainly found the thought of hiking to one that not too many people get to see very appealing. So, one early afternoon, I set out from my cabin and began hiking the adjacent creek drainage towards my destination. So I want to give you an idea of my bearings and where it is I'm located. As mentioned, I'm just above the town of Silvergate, and I'm hiking north to the southern side of Mineral Mountain. Now, Silvergate itself was developed solely as a tourist hub for travelers wanting to gain entrance to the northeastern area of Yellowstone. But the name, Mineral Mountain, certainly hints to the origin and the mining history of the neighboring town of Cooke City. On map, Mineral Mountain summit stands at 10,304 feet, and from what I understand, it's a hike that is seldom done due to considerable elevation gain and the fact that the quickest way up is all off-trail. There are alternate trails up, but require a hiker to climb an additional peak in order to reach the true summit of Mineral Mountain. Beyond it lies the Absaroka Beartooth Wilderness, so it's a very remote area out here as well. The real prominent peak that you see behind me in the background is Republic Mountain, and to our right, out of frame, is Amphitheater Mountain. You'll get a glimpse of it later. Beyond them, the Shoshone National Forest meets up with Yellowstone National Park. looking at here is an entrance to an old mining site in the side of the mountain. Now, its exact coordinates didn't exist on any database that I looked at, so I don't have any information on it. All I can really tell you is that gold was first discovered in this area in the late 1860s. But the heart of prospecting here didn't truly begin beating until 1882, once the boundary lines to the Crow Indian Reservation were released. Aside from that, I did discover that there is a mining site just beyond here called the Days of 49 Placer that was claimed in 1932, and its main commodity was gold. In fact, just a few miles east of here and above the town of Cooke City, the hills are full of these placer mines where the main commodity was gold. A mine with the term placer attached to it means that the valuable mineral there was transported from its original source by means of water and erosion, and was then collected by sifting through loose gravel or sand. This could be something as simple as panning for gold in a riverbed, or involve larger, more complex methods such as hydraulicking. This is all very different than hard rock mining, where large veins of a valuable mineral called lodes are removed directly from solid rock. Anyways, seeing a mine along my hike really brought about a sense of history in the area, and I'm reminded of the old musing that there's gold in them there hills. All right, here we are now. We're back down safely and in the area of the cabin. To the far right there now, you can get a glimpse of Amphitheater Mountain. Republic Mountain is now to our left, kind of out of frame and behind all the trees. And there's a mountain directly in front of us, nestled in between the two of them, that I am unaware of its name, as it's not on a map or my GPS. It began to drizzle on me at one point, so now my camera is off of my tripod and in my day pack. And of course, that is always when a wildlife moment seems to happen, isn't it? So if you look to the left of your screen, you'll see a fox trotting into the frame. If you noticed him, you did far better than I did, because I was way too focused on the view of the mountains and the skyline. Fox. I didn't have my camera ready. It's in my backpack. There's a fox. There seem to be a lot of fox in Silvergate, and it's an area where you have a very good chance of experiencing a fox jam.
Hey, Mr. Fox. I don't have any food for you. It's a no-no.
I experienced this in the dark at night as well. And as cute as it is, I think it's more disheartening to see how habituated they are to the roadways. Officially back at the cabin and ready for some rest and relaxation. You know, aside from the fox, I can't help but wonder what other wildlife might have moved through here while I was gone. There are moose, black bear, and elk in the area. And of course, this is grizzly bear country. I'll note that I did have my bear spray on me, accessible and not in my pack. Always carry your bear spray in this fashion, and always look for signs of bear activity. Above all, just cool down your pace and enjoy the very essence of your adventure. Till next video, thanks for watching and take good care, folks.